Oh ho! What a phenomenal 4th of July, you fuck boys. What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Backed by Bone podcast. I am your host, Donald Burgundy, aka Chris, and this is episode 5, I believe. Hopefully I got that right. But what is going on? It is actually Sunday, July 3rd, 2022. But tomorrow is obviously the 4th of July, so I figured I'd say it today. What's going on, guys? How's it going? How you doing? I got tomorrow off on this nation's birthday, I guess they call it. Oh, whatever. I got tomorrow off, so let's fucking go. I hope you guys do too. So go get your fucking dick wet on the 4th of July. But let's get right into it. So first, I wanted to do a little bit of a deeper dive into the Stanley Cup first, and then I wanted to obviously, pay a little bit more respects to the Colorado Avalanche, because I did not do that last time. So let's get right fucking into it. So we are going to start with their regular season standings. So they went 56 and 19, uh, 56, 19, and 7. So 56 wins, 19 losses, 7 overtime losses, with 119 points. So um, that's a crazy fucking record for anybody who does not actually follow hockey. I think they had the most points. No, they didn't. They had the second most points behind the Florida Panthers with 122. They were 58, 18, and 6. So very similar records, but doubted as, or a lot of people held Colorado as one of the best teams in the league throughout the regular season, and obviously the record showed. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. They just played amazing all season. So let's get into their playoff run. So first round of the playoffs, I believe. Let's take a look. Who did they have? Why don't I just search up NHL playoffs? Why am I fucking stupid? Here we are. Stanley Cup playoffs, NHL.com. All right, first round of the playoffs, they ended up playing the Nashville Predators, beat them 4-0, hard stomp. Nashville came in as a wild card seed, so you kind of expect that to happen. But Nashville is always one of those teams that in the playoffs they get really physical. Usually end up fucking people up and playing a really hard game. So it's really hard to actually sweep them in a series. So doing that already, even if they are a wild card seed, is pretty impressive. And then they went up they went up against the number 3 seed, which is the St. Louis Blues, beat them 4-2. I obviously didn't watch the entirety of this series, but 4-2 already impressive. And the number 3 seed against St. Louis. St. Louis has been, pretty good all year, and they're also a team that nobody wants to play in the playoffs because very much like the Nashville Predators, they end up getting pretty aggressive and pretty physical um, in the playoffs, and they really come out. They come into play. They really come to play, and they really look like a different team in the playoffs. So. Beating them 4-2 is obviously. I mean, Colorado's favorited, but people expect that to be a closer series. And then after that, they went and played the Edmonton Oilers, who were kind of popping off at the end of the season. And then in the playoffs, they looked really good. But Colorado swept them 4-0, so it gets them a seat right to the Stanley Cup final against Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay's road was a little bit. I don't want to say easier, but the first round they played Toronto Maple Leafs, and it was a 4-3 series, which was surprising. I think people expected Tampa Bay to kind of just run them over, and then another surprise: Tampa beats the Florida Panthers 4-0, which was surprising because Tampa, again, we had just mentioned they were looking like one of, if not the best team in the league in the regular season, and they just got swept 4-0. And then Tampa goes on to play New York Rangers, who were looking like world beaters. but Tampa wins 4-2. So again, I kind of just wanted to go into a deeper dive on this and just look at the run that um, the Avs had. They finished regular season with the first seed, and then they play some teams who are no chumps. You know what I mean? They could have played like really shit teams, like just like lower end teams, but they played Nashville, who yeah, they're coming in as a wild card seed, but during the playoffs, they're really not a pushover. And then they played St. Louis, who again another team who really steps up in the playoffs. And then they ended up playing Edmonton, who they were just looking hot. They got Connor McDavid, and I just don't think anyone expected Colorado to be as good as this. I think everyone had Colorado pretty high, but they didn't actually think they were going to be this good. So, you know, um, good on them. It's fucking phenomenal. Good for them. I Colorado won this whole thing 4-2, which was one thing I was asking for was don't bring it to a game seven. But yeah, I kind of just want to go into a deeper dive on this. I'll leave it at that though because it's been a little while since it actually happened. So, good for them. Again, congratulations. And then next we are on to the UFC. So this past weekend, which was yesterday, was UFC 276. Um, Honestly, a really good card. So I watched the majority of it. I did not watch the early prelims. Basically, like I told you guys, I wasn't going to watch that. So I watched one fight on the early prelims, which was the Uriah Hall Andre Muniz fight. Um, I was shocked. I thought Uriah Hall was going to fucking run this guy over, but Andre Muniz, he worked him. I mean, for most of the fight, I came into the fight kind of late, but for the majority of the fight that I saw, he just like got him on the ground and just really had his way with him and just like bent him over the stool. I don't know. If you guys go back and watch the highlights on that, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about because he just really dictated the entire fight that I saw. Again, I came into it kind of late, so um, from what I saw, he just looked like he came in with a great game plan and he just really picked it up the pace and just really dictated the rest of the fight. But um, I think Uriah Hall's a better fighter than that. I just don't think he was fully prepared, or maybe something happened, or who fucking knows. But I expect to see Uriah Hall bounce back. But I don't know. We'll see. Andre Muniz, he's 23-4 now, or maybe 24-4 with this win. But we'll see. I mean, again, I don't know who this guy is. I'm not really familiar with Andre Muniz, so if he comes up in that middleweight division, he might be a killer. So we'll see. Let's see. On to the preliminary card. We had the Ian Gary Gabe Green fight. Ian Gary basically just dominated this whole fight. He won by decision, went all 3 rounds. I got nothing else to say. Ian Gary's undefeated still. He just looks like an animal, so watch out for him in welterweight. Other welterweight fight, Jim Miller, Donald Cerrone. Jim Miller beat Donald in round 2 in the first minute and a half with a submission. I think it was a guillotine or something like that. But yeah, Donald just looked like he wasn't 100% there. And then at the end of the fight, Donald Cerrone retired. So, good for him. He had been doing it for a very long time. It was about time he retired. And if you watch that fight, you would definitely see why he retired. But yeah, no, congratulations to Donald Cerrone. Amazing career. Hopefully he finds something else to do with his time and, he succeeds from there because I really like the guy. He's got a family, he's got kids. So I think he also lives somewhere in Colorado. So, hats off to him. Maybe I'll meet him one day. Who knows? And then we got lightweights with Brad Riddle, and Jalen Turner. Jalen Turner won by submission with the first 45 seconds in the first round. I don't really remember this because it was so fast. I think Jalen Turner also won by guillotine. Kind of just happened quick. Not much to say about that. And then we are on to the main card. Um, so what do we have here? So the first fight was Pedro Munoz and Sean O'Malley. Not a whole lot really happened in this fight. It also ended by no contest because um, Sean O'Malley accidentally poked Pedro Munoz in the eye. So what are you gonna do? Kind of sucks. I mean, Sean O'Malley is now fresh for another fight, so maybe they'll run it back, or maybe Sean O'Malley get a different fight. But I expect to see him fighting on another big card very, very soon. He might have 2 more fights before the end of this year. If this fight actually went the distance, or actually played out, he might have only had 1 more fight after or for this year, just to have like one big one towards December or something. But now that nothing really happened, like he didn't really take any damage, he didn't really even go through a full fight. Maybe he'll have 2 more by the end of this year. So we'll see. We'll stay updated. And then we've got the welterweight fight was the Robbie Lawler Brian Barberina fight. So this was a good fight at the beginning. Brian Barberina won in the second round at 4 minutes and 47 seconds, so almost at the end of the bell right there. But I don't know. Robbie Lawler's old, man. I don't know if he's going to retire or what, and I don't think he retired at the end of that fight. But Robbie Lawler's old, man. He's like 40. He's been doing it forever, and it just looked bad. Like, so at the beginning of the fight, Robbie looked really good. He looked like he stepped his game up, even though he's been doing this forever. But he just looked like he changed up his style a little bit, and then he kind of towards the end of the fight leaned more into his old style, where he just kind of like lumbered forward and just tried to kind of get it done. But Brian Barberina he was literally just piecing him up the entire fight. He just had his hands all over him. It was just basically a stand-up war, and Brian just kind of got it done. And then the ref ended up stopping the fight with a TKO. So kudos to Brian Barberina. He just beat a fucking legend. But yeah, I think it was just he beat an older, weathered Robbie Lawler, and Brian's fresher, and he just kept piecing him up with the combos. He just never stopped punching. He never stopped moving his hands, and just kind of closed him out and got the job done. I'd like to see Robbie Lawler kind of retire at this point, but excuse me, we'll see. Next, we're on to the middleweight fight on the card, or the next middleweight fight on the card was the Sean Strickland Alex Pereira fight. Alex Pereira wins by knockout. First round, 2 minutes and 36 seconds into the fight. I was surprised. I thought this was going to be an all-out war, and I thought Sean Strickland was going to make it a lot closer. But I guess Pereira is he's just that guy. I think they're kind of catapulting him way too fast, because like now he's like almost in line for the next fight against Israel Adesanya, which I think is a little too fast to some of the guys in line. But I guess Israel's already beaten all those guys, so I think they're really just trying to make a lot of hype in that middleweight division, and I guess Alex is that guy. So not much to say here. Alex hit him with a nice hook, and he kind of dropped him, and then the ref stopped the fight. I think Sean Strickland comes back from this even stronger, and I think I don't know. I don't think it's very long until we see Sean Strickland contesting for that belt. So all right, next we're on to the co-main event, which is the featherweight fight, which was between Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway. Volkanovski, he just had full control of this fight. Max Holloway kind of put up a good fight, but Volkanovski just looked like a tier better. He ended up cracking Max in I think it was the first or second round, and gave him a massive cut over his left eye. And this thing was huge. Like, I was watching them when they were doing in between rounds, and he was on the stool, and they were trying to like stop the bleeding, but it was just a massive gash. Like, this guy had like one of those like large like cotton swab things that they use for fighters for like the cut men and stuff like that use, and it was just not soaking up any of the blood. Like, they couldn't get it to close, and they're putting like the Vaseline stuff over it to make it like stop bleeding, but even just a light tap and that thing just opened right back up, and it was just, his face looked like he got hit with a baseball bat. So kudos to Max Holloway for putting up a fight. He made it to the entire end of the fight, but Alexander Volkanovski won by decision in the 5th round. So they did mention this after the fight, but Alexander might be moving up a weight class. So that'd be interesting. It'd be definitely. I mean, he definitely has the power, and he's obviously got the cardio. So we'll see. I mean, he's kind of already beat everyone in that division. So like, who the fuck is next? Max Holloway was kind of like the last testament. He's already fought him like twice, and then this was the 3rd time. So beating him convincingly, it's kind of like, well, who the fuck is next? I don't think anybody's next except for the next division. So he wants to be that double champ, and he said it on the broadcast. I think he definitely has the potential to do it. I just think it's going to be hard. So I don't know. We'll see. Do I expect him to fight again before the end of the year? If I had to put money on it, I'd say no. I think he takes the rest of the year off, trains, puts on some weight, comes back next year, and tries to go for that double champ status and hold two belts at the same time. But I don't know. We'll see. And then we are on to the main event, which was the middleweight fight between Israel Adesanya and Jared Cannonier. So I kind of fucked up because at this point when this fight is starting, it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and your boy is fucking tired. So right after the Alexander Volkanovski fight and Max Holloway, I was like, all right, one fight left. Like I got this. I can make it work. And then they went into commercial, and then I closed my eyes, and then I opened my eyes, and it is the third fucking round. I was like, what the fuck just happened? I missed literally like 2.5 to 3 rounds of the Israel Adesanya fight. I was like, what the fuck? Luckily, nothing really happened. So Israel ended up winning by decision. It went all 5 rounds. Um, but I was like, what the fuck? Like, I just literally fell asleep for that long. Like, I didn't even know it. Again, like these fights need to be like on at like a normal time so I can actually fucking watch them and not fucking pass out. Like, I end up going to sleep around like 12 o'clock. Like, dude, come on. I need regular times. How the fuck am I supposed to watch this shit? It's just I can't stay up that late, man, and I ended up missing half the fight. I mean, what happens if it was a first round knockout? Like I would have missed the whole thing. I would have woken up and the broadcast would have been over. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Yeah, obviously that's on me for falling asleep, but tail of tape here, Israel just kind of really pieced him up. Obviously, the better fighter, Jared Cannonier, put up a good fight, but who's left in that middleweight division besides Alex Pereira? I mean, I don't even know. Um, but it wasn't that great of a fight. Like I'm cursed. I'm gonna admit right now, guys, that I'm cursed. Every time I stay up to watch a really hyped fight, it always goes to decision. Nothing fucking crazy happens. Like the co-main and the main event both went to a decision. Like, dude, come on, man. Like that's 5 rounds. So 5 minutes, 5 rounds, 25 minutes each fight. And that's not including the breaks in between each round, the time in between each fight. So it's like that's like a whole hour, maybe even more, maybe an hour and a half between those two fights that I was like I had to stay awake for. Um like, dude, what do you expect of me, man? I get tired. Like I can't do this shit anymore. I can't stay up this late. Like I'm not gonna be pounding energy drinks just to stay up for these fucking fights. Especially, excuse me, if they all go to decision. Like, what do you want from me, man? Like I can't stay up for this shit. But Israel gets it done. I guess the next big fight is Alex Pereira. I do not know if they will fight before. Um, excuse me. Oh my god, I'm tired. Sorry, I hate that. I hate like making like noises like that, or like people eating, or like people like yawning or sneezing on the mic when I'm listening to shit. So I hate to do it to people. But what was I saying? Yeah, so I don't think Israel and Alex fight this year. I feel like they run it next year, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they will. I don't know. I don't know if they really want to push it. They might. But that's the UFC update. Next card is Fight Night with Rafael dos Anjos against Rafael Fiziev. I don't really care about this card at all. I think I went over this before. There's nothing I really care about on this card. Main card, I don't really see anything. Prelims, I don't really give a shit about anything. I'm probably not gonna watch this, to be completely honest. Then we've got UFC Fight Night, Brian Ortega versus Yair Rodriguez. I think I'm going to be watching this because I think this is definitely going to be good. It is also, the main card starts at 12 p.m., which is noon. So I'm definitely going to be watching this. So you know what I mean? Like this is an actual time when I can actually fucking watch the card. The prelims start at 9 a.m. I don't know where this is, but that's what I'm talking about, bro. It's like, dude, put this on at 9 a.m. I'll wake up for it, dude. If the other people don't wake up for it, fuck them. I'll watch the entire thing if you fucking run in at noon, dude. Jesus Christ. So I will be going over that. That's got a couple fights on it that I'm looking forward to. So I'll go into that with more detail. Again, at a normal time, I will be watching it. At fucking 9 o'clock at night, I won't be watching it. Then we've got another fight night, UFC Fight Night, Blades versus Aspinall. I think this is actually in London. So main card starts at fucking noon, so this is gonna be a banger. Like, take a look at this. So, on the main card, starting from the bottom, we got a Paul Craig fight, phenomenal. Uh, we've got Molly McCann against Hannah Goldie. We'll see. I don't know anything about that fight. I don't know if that's going to be good or not. We've got Alexander Gustafsson against Nikita Krylov. Gustafsson's pretty good. Then we've got your boy Paddy Pimblett fighting Jordan Levitt. So that should be a banger fight. Then we got Jack Hermanson against Darren Till, another banger fight. And then obviously the main card is Curtis Blades, Tom Aspinall. I think that fight night is going to be phenomenal, and I believe it is in London, so that should be fucking wild with the crowd. So keep an eye out for that one, boys and girls. That's gonna be banger. And then the next big UFC card is UFC 277, and that's Juliana Pena, Amanda Nunes. I'll get into that more when the time comes. So that is going to be the UFC update. So I believe next we are on to everybody's favorite segment, which is League of Legends, baby. Um, yeah, so let's see. Last time I put out an episode was Wednesday, I think. I think it was Wednesday. Let me double check to make sure so I'm not like talking over like what the fuck I was just doing. Um, bear with me one moment. Uno más. Okay, so this is actually episode 6. My bad. I'm correcting that now. So last time I put out episode was Tuesday. Okay, Jesus Christ. I'm 20 minutes into it and I've already made a mistake. All right, so Tuesday, which was June 28th. So Wednesday, we are talking about what do we have here? No real good games I really want to talk about or remember. Thursday, June 30th. We had the RNG OMG series. RNG wins 2-1. Nothing super crazy there. Then we had the Billy Gaming Invictus series. Don't really care about that one. Friday, July 1st, we had V5 against Anyone's Legends. Or Anyone's Legend. That was a pretty decent series. I think I caught the last game of that. But I ended up watching the EDG and Thunder Talk Gaming series. EDG won 2-0. Nothing really to say here. It wasn't that phenomenal of a series. EDG just didn't really shit on them, but they won. And then we got yesterday, which was Saturday, July 2nd. We had the Top Esports Weibo series. That was actually pretty good. I was surprised that it was actually that good and that close. First game was 22-21 in kills, so that just kind of goes to show how close it was. Second game, 14 kills to 9 kills. Last game was 16 kills to 12 kills. Top Esports wins the series 2-1. Pretty good series, I'm not going to lie. I ended up enjoying this. I think I only watched the last 2 games when I woke up. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, definitely a fun series. So if you're not watching LPL, now is the time. And then we had the FPX series, FPX versus JDG series, which is surprising because FPX won 2-1. So FPX actually lost game 1. Then they ended up subbing in their new top laner Summit for game 2 and 3, and he actually looked really fucking good. I'm like kind of surprised. It might be like that honeymoon period that when you add a new player in, then everything looks good. But we'll see if the longevity of that team actually kind of comes into play and if they look good comes playoffs. But yeah, he looked really good. Game 2. Game 3, he went 1-2 and 14, so he didn't fucking hard feed. He also didn't carry, but I mean, he had 14 assists, so he kind of played his role. So, excited to see FPX's future. Maybe they'll come back into prosperity and maybe they actually make playoffs. Then the other series that day was LNG and LGD, but that was at 2 in the morning or whatever, and I wasn't awake, so I didn't watch it. They also 2 bad teams, so I guess it doesn't really matter. And then today, which is the 3rd, we had RNG against Ultra Prime. RNG won 2-0. What am I going to say about this series? RNG just shit all over him, man. What are you going to do? And then the other series was like a WE series, and I didn't watch it, so nobody cares. Let's see. We've got a whole nother week of LPL coming up. Monday we got EDG OMG. That's the only series that might be good. The other series doesn't matter. Tuesday, um, IG is playing LNG. That's probably gonna be a dog shit series. Weibo Gaming is playing Anyone's Legend. That's probably gonna be a bad series. Weibo's probably gonna win. Wednesday we have FBX playing LGD. That could be interesting. And then we also have V5 playing Ultra Prime. That should actually be a pretty good series. I think V5 still wins. I think Rookie is coming back, but um, I think it'll be a little bit closer than people think. And then we got Friday, July 8th. WE's playing OMG. That's gonna be a dog shit series. LNG is playing JDG. JDG is just gonna win. So what do you want from me? Then Sunday, July 9th, we've got Top Esports RNG. That is going to be a banger. So stay tuned for that. That's the 5 a.m. game. That's the last game of the day for LPL on Saturday. So that's gonna be sick. Expect me to be talking about that. I'm expecting RNG to win, but I think it's gonna be close. So uh, two top teams. We'll see how it goes. Then Sunday, July 10th, we have Thunder Talk Gaming and IG. No one cares about that series, but the big series here on Sunday, 5 a.m., could be EDG V5. So former world champions from last year, EDG, are going up against V5, the powerhouse, and Rookie is back. So that's gonna be a really big series. So Saturday, RNG Top Esports. Sunday, V5 EDG. Those are gonna be bangers. Keep an eye out for that, and I'll be talking about those. I'm gonna be watching them. So yeah, I think that is it for the LPL talk. Next, I believe, is we're moving on to the LCK. Let me take a look here real quick. All right, LCK it is, the Korean scene for League of Legends. Again, I'll mention this again. I don't really watch a whole lot of LCK. I just kind of touch on it briefly because I'd be remiss if I didn't, because I'll talk about every other league. So last time I put out an episode was Tuesday. So let's see, Wednesday, June 29th. Um, T1 lost to Kongdu Freaks or whatever their team name is now. I don't even fucking know. They update their they all change names so frequently. It doesn't even fucking matter. So that's pretty surprising. I didn't watch that. Looks like T1 won game one, and then after that, they subsequently got shit on the next two games. And then Sandbox beat DRX. Didn't watch it either, but pretty surprising. I thought DRX would be heavy favorites, but it is what it is. We got Thursday, June 30th. Genji 2-0'd Nongshim. That's pretty understandable. Hanwha Life beat Fred at Brion. Nobody cares about that because they're both bad teams. And then Friday, T1 2-0'd DRX. I thought that was going to be a little bit of a closer series. I had mentioned these series last week, but game one, T1 won 18-10. Nothing really crazy here in terms of team comps. I've been seeing more Hecarim, Callista, and Amumu. It's interesting. And then Damwon 2-0'd KT Rolster. Kind of just shit on him, apparently. I mean, Showmaker still being the best, and obviously Damwon looks significantly better now that Nuguri's back on the team. Um, game one, nothing really interesting here for team comps. Game two, yeah, just more standard stuff. So whatever. Got July 2nd. No good games. And then today we had KT Rolster 2-0ing Hanwha Life, and then Damwon 2-0ing Nongshim. I don't really care about the Korean scene. It's pretty top heavy, so you don't see a whole lot of parity, and it's just kind of like, boring. Don't really care. I mean, they've got like two, maybe three teams that I think are exciting. T1, Damwon, and Gen G. Those are like exciting teams. Everyone else, like, I kind of don't fucking care. DRX kind of exciting, but I don't know. They kind of have to show more for me to actually give a shit. So that was the LCK. That was quick, a minute or so, but what it is, what it is. And then we're on to the LEC. We didn't have a whole lot of great games this weekend, but I'm gonna go over them regardless. This past Friday, we had the Mad Lions G2 game. That game was actually a banger. Mad Lions won 22-10 in terms of kills. Um, Mad Lions, they just look like a better team cohesively. Arment had a good game. Niski had a good game on the Swain. Um, Unforgiven on the Twitch had a good game, and they just looked really good. On the other hand, G2 just did not look that good, but I expect them to bounce back. That was one of their few losses. I think they're on a couple game skid now. Um, nope, that was actually um, their first loss in a while, but and then the rest of the games on Friday were pretty unmentionable. You know, one-sided affairs. Fnatic beat Astralis. Obviously, Rogue beat Excel. Actually, pretty close. Excel was winning for the majority of the game, and then Rogue came back. Vitality beat SK Gaming. Game sucked. And then BDS Misfits. Misfits won. Nobody cares. Those teams both suck. And then Saturday, the banger of the day was the Fnatic G2 game. G2 lost, so G2 actually went 0-2 this weekend, which kind of uncharacteristic, but they got slaughtered by Fnatic. It was 16-2 in kills, Fnatic winning. Um, yeah, they just look uncharacteristically bad. A lot of them, they had a lot of comfort champions as well, and they just did not look that good. Looked like Fnatic really had the bounce back game that they needed, and Razork won, or sorry, 9-1-3 on the Viego, so he kind of popped off. I think I have to go back and watch the highlights of that because it was a pretty good fucking game. Mad Lions actually dropped the game to Misfits, which is pretty fucking surprising. Misfits kind of really coming ahead. It was like 29-17 in terms of kills, so. Um, Excuse me. Uh, yeah, I guess Fnatic just, or sorry, I guess Mad Lions just kind of dropped the ball on that one. Just did not look that good. Niski on the Lissandra, which would normally be a good pick for him, he went 3-6-10. So I don't know, maybe they just had an off day. Vitality beat Astralis. Pretty bad game. I did not really like enjoy watching that one. It's really close. Both of the teams didn't look that good. Hopefully, next week is actually a break week, so maybe they'll get some time to actually work with their other jungler, Bo, who's an absolute animal. So hopefully he comes in and he starts smurfing. But I'd like to see him play. Nothing against Haru, but I just think Bo's on uh, a higher tier than Haru. So even if Bo has some communication issues because he doesn't really speak good English. I mean, who cares as long as he's fucking absolutely stomping people? Like, you know, it doesn't really matter. So, again, next week there's going to be a break for LEC and LCS. So it's an off week, so I won't be talking about that on the next podcast, um, which is probably going to be midweek anyway. So the next two podcasts I won't be talking about LEC and LCS. So I'm going to have to find something else to talk about to fill some time. Um, but you know, we keep going. Then Rogue SK, Rogue won. I mean, SK is just a bad team. It was actually closer than I thought. But and then XL beat Team BDS. BDS is just a bad team. XL shit all over them. Um, and then again, it is going to be an off week, so the next games won't be until July 15th, and which is a Friday. And all the games are not very exciting to watch on Friday. And Saturday, is the best game of that weekend is going to be Vitality Fnatic, which is at 1 p.m. on Saturday, which is the last game of the day. So it's like every other game is going to be kind of like iffy. So you just kind of think or expect the favorites just to win there. So all right, we're going to go back on to the LCS, which is very hard to watch. Yesterday, Cloud9 beat CLG in a pretty close fucking game. Well, it was close at the beginning anyway, and then Cloud9 kind of really ran away with it. They looked on form, they looked good, and they looked like they were really bouncing back. I can't say the same for today. Golden Guardians Immortals. Golden Guardians won. That game sucked anyway. Who cares? 100 Thieves beat Team Liquid. Team Liquid, it looked really fucking bad. They only got 2 kills, and they're on a lot of comfort champions. So, you know, you're kind of wondering what's going on over there. FlyQuest beat Dignitas. That game sucked. And then Evil Geniuses beat TSM. Um, I'm pretty sure this was a blowout. So it was 12 kills to 0 kills. Basically a blowout in my book. They looked really fucking bad. EG just rolled them over. And then today, 100 Thieves beat Immortals, which is pretty fucking expected. 100 Thieves significantly better than Immortals. Immortals just a bad team. Um, Team Liquid beat CLG. Thank God for them to bounce back. 17 kills to 4 kills. Um, Team Liquid just kind of looking back on form. Bjergsen having a good game on the Swain, but Bwipo a good game on the Aatrox. Hans Sama a decent game on the Zeri. Santorin decent game on the Volibear. Um, and then CLG they're pulling out a little bit of cheese with the Amumu support, which is kind of nice to see. But like, I mean, they still have a good record, so them losing to Team Liquid isn't the end of the world. Kind of expected, so it goes the way it goes. And then Cloud9 actually lost to FlyQuest in a big upset. Cloud9, they looked great yesterday, looked terrible today. They only got 2 kills, so it was 2 to 15 in kills. They just did not look on point. I do not know what the fuck happened. They just looked bad. I don't know. Maybe they need to go back to comfort because they were trying the Yasuo Gragas and they had Sven on Lulu and Fudge on Fiora, Berserker on Zeri. Like, it just did not look good, especially against a team like FlyQuest. They should be it should be roles reversed. You know what I mean? They should be getting 15 kills and FlyQuest should be getting fucking 2. But it was a bad game. So hopefully they can bounce back and string together some 2-0 weekends here. Then EG beat Golden Guardians. Nothing really much to say about this. EG's obviously a significantly better team. Inspiron did pull out the Kane, which was interesting. He went 7-1-5. Obviously, hard carried that game. You don't really see any Kane in pro play. Like this is the first time I've seen Kane in I don't know how long in terms of pro play, like maybe 2-3 years. And then on the Golden Guardian side, Pride Stalker pulled out the Zac Jungle, which you don't really see either. It's a long time, so kind of cool to see both of those picks. The gameplay though not that great. And then Team Dignitas beat TSM 21-8 in terms of kills. Kind of surprising because Dignitas is bad and TSM is kind of on the upswing, but they just did not look that good. It it is what it is, I guess. Can't put too much stock into them. And then again, next week it is going to be excuse me. It is going to be an off week, so games will not resume until July 16th. We got the only real good game on the 16th, which is a Saturday, is going to be that TSM Cloud9 game at 4:30 p.m. my time. So that should be interesting to watch. All the other games I kind of don't care about, and then Sunday, July 17th. There's 2 good games, which should be the CLG 100 Thieves game at 2:30, which should be interesting, probably pretty close. And then EG Team Liquid, which is at 3:30, so that should be another good fucking game. So keep an eye out for that. But again, really hard to watch. These teams are just not looking very good. So hopefully they kind of pick up the pace here, and hopefully playoffs is better. So that is it for the League of Legends update. I know everybody loves that part, so again, it's just something I like to talk about. So I'll keep talking about it every single week. I'm gonna take a sip of water here. Excuse me. All right. Now we're on to the D&D update. So we did actually get to play D&D this past weekend. We did a little bit of a longer session. It was about 2.5 to 3 hours. I actually had to leave the last half hour of the session because I had an internet guy come by and kind of help me out fix my internet problems. But I don't know if they're actually fixed or not. But hopefully they are because it's really fucking with my ability to work from home, but that's a different story. I'll get into that another time, maybe. But yeah, so D&D update. We entered into another quest line. We went to it's like Falcon's Lodge or something like that. The guy's actual name is Falcon. I didn't fucking know that. The quest giver. Looks like an absolute Chad. He's got big ass sideburns, like the lamb chop sideburns. It looks pretty cool. But yeah, so we went and we had to go fight some more orcs. So we go into this place. There's like a hunting, like I don't remember exactly the name of it, but it's kind of abandoned. So these orcs took it over. We ended up fighting a bunch of orcs, which weren't too hard to take out. But then we ended up running into a bunch of vine monsters, which ended up giving us a hard time. And then more orcs came, and then we ended up fighting like a larger, like almost like boss level, like orc spellcaster. And I was not doing so hot. I was like missing a lot of rolls. I was taking a lot of damage, and I almost went down. Vic ended up putting out a bunch of damage. She did like 200. I only got like 130 or something like that. So I was not doing as much damage as I was hoping to do. But you can't get amazing rolls every single time. It is what it is, and you just kind of learn to live with it. But yeah, it was a good session. We had a long session, so we got a lot done. Again, I had to lead the last 30 minutes of it, and then my brother kind of filled me in, and we just got we like went to the upstairs of this like abandoned place. Um, and started searching through that and got into another fight, which I didn't get to roll for. My brother got just rolled for me, just because again I was dealing with the Xfinity internet guy coming by. But I guess it turned out okay. It wasn't anything too crazy, but yeah, again, I'm excited on this campaign. It's pretty interesting. We're kind of rolling with some steam. Getting a large session done definitely helps. Feels like you've accomplished a lot. It's been a while since we got a level up, so um, we are due for one, so we should be getting one soon. So that's exciting. I'm kind of hoping for a decent power up here. I think I'm level 4 or 5. I don't know. I'll take a look at it later. I'm not going to go look at it now because it's going to take too much time. But it's going to be interesting. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to keep you guys updated. I think I'm going to try and take down some notes next time, so I have um, a little bit of a better update for you guys, so I can actually like talk a little bit about like the session instead of just like trying to remember what happened. It's a lot easier to just kind of write it down and actually give you guys a cohesive play by play, or like brief summary or whatever. But again, it was fun. I had a good time. If you get a chance, get a fucking campaign together and get your fucking dick wet. Again, it's a lot of fun. I would like to play on the side quest again because that one's really fun too. So hopefully we can get that done this week or this weekend. I don't know. We'll have to talk and get in the Discord and see what availability looks like. But yep, go get your fucking dick wet. Get yourself a campaign. Have some fun. But that is the D&D update, and now we are on to anime. So I haven't really been watching anything recently. Within the past few days, I finished Gungrave, like I said before. I think I'm gonna try and finish Trigun tonight. I did actually see from Crunchyroll on Instagram they posted a trailer of the Trigun Stampede, um, like teaser trailer for the new series that's coming out. Pretty interesting. So it is like it's not a retelling or a rehashing. It is basically just like telling the story before the original Trigun picks up. So I'm very interested to see this. I think it's going to be a lot more cohesive, and it's going to tell a lot more about the story. And the artwork or the animation is just kind of a little bit more 3D than actual 2D. So I'm interested to see how they pull it off. It looked pretty good though. So um, I think this is going to be one of those series where you don't need to watch the original Trigun to watch this. So I will be bringing it up once I watch it. But um, yeah, I mean, interesting. Again, I'm gonna try and finish Trigun either tonight or tomorrow or maybe this week. I don't know, but I will be attempting to finish it before I get onto the next podcast, so I can give you guys a little bit of a better breakdown and kind of go into the ending. I mean, it's been out forever, so I'm not gonna be like afraid to spoil anything or feel bad about spoiling anything, because motherfucker, if you haven't watched it by now, you're probably never gonna watch it, and by me spoiling it, it's not gonna ruin it anyway. So who fucking cares? But going into my anime recommendation for this episode, I'm going to be recommending The Devil is a Part Timer. So um, this is actually coming out with a second season this month, July 14th. I'm very excited for this. It is pretty fucking funny, also pretty good, animation pretty good, and um, I mean, I don't know. I just think it's a good series. So the first season actually came out forever ago, back in 2013. Um, I think it's definitely worth a watch. So I would recommend watching this before the new season comes out July 14th. There's definitely enough time to binge that. I think you're going to watch 2 episodes and get hooked on it and want to watch the whole thing. I was kind of surprised when I first watched this, and then I realized there wasn't a second series or season. I was like, what the fuck's going on? And I guess they just put it on the back burner, or someone fucking, they just like, well, we don't really have the money to make another season, so we're just going to go from here, and hopefully, like, maybe later in life. But you know 2013 was the original um first season, so it's been 9 years. Usually when it's been this long, most things don't get another season. They just kind of push it off, and you never see it again. But it's coming back, so here we go, baby. Let's fucking go. um so let's see here. Studio White Fox did the original first season, and Studio 3HZ is doing the second season. Let's see, what has 3HZ done? Oh, they did Dimension W. They did Sword Art Online Alternative. Um, they did Black Fox, that movie, which I didn't see, which I wanted to see, but I never got into. Maybe I'll do it later in life. What else did they do? Nothing else really recognizable, but the animation I've seen from the series that they have done, all been pretty good. So they do OVAs, movies. Okay, yeah, interesting. I'm excited to see it. I think the animation is going to be fire. So we will see what happens. So for the synopsis of this, I'll just kind of read it off briefly. Um, pull it up here. So let's see. Striking fear into the hearts of mortals, the demon lord Satan begins to conquer the land of Ente Isla, Enteisla, with his vast demon armies. However, while embarking on this brutal quest to take over the continent, his efforts are foiled by the hero Amelia, forcing Satan to make his swift retreat through a dimensional portal, only to land in the human world. Along with his loyal general Alciel, Alsiel, the demon finds himself stranded in a modern day Tokyo and vows to return to complete his subjugation of Ente Isla. That is, if they can find a way back. So that is, I mean, there's more of the synopsis, but I don't want to just sit here and read verbatim the whole thing. But yeah, so he is a demon lord from a different world, and then he like dimension shifts to get away from the hero so he can like regain his powers or whatever. So he comes into modern day Tokyo, and he has like no magic abilities, and he's got no money. So what they do is they're broke as fuck, so they get jobs like working at places like, so it's a McDonald's ripoff, but it's called McRonald's. And it's just, I don't know, it's like funny. It doesn't take itself too seriously. So he's like basically like trying to restart his um Demon Lord Empire, but he's like working at a McDonald's, and like he takes everything like super seriously. Um, and it's just like no, like I don't know, you gotta watch it. It's definitely funny. He like he's trying to become like the best McDonald's employee, so he can then work up his way up the chain, and then fucking become like I don't know, a big CEO, and then make a bunch of money and gain more power or whatever. But um, so the hero ends up following him, and then she comes into modern day Tokyo, and then instead of being an idiot, she goes and gets an office job and lives like a normal life, and then she like ends up running into Satan at the McDonald's, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" You know what I mean? She's like, "You're like a demon lord. Like, why are you living like a terrible life?" And he lives like in a shitty rundown apartment with his general LCL. Like, it's just really funny. I definitely take a look into it. Definitely watch it. It's a whole lot of fun. Again, you're gonna watch 2 episodes, and you're gonna want to watch the whole thing. It's got about 13 episodes, and again, the second season is coming out on the 14th of this month. So I'm very excited. I will be talking about this as it is airing. The genre tags are comedy, fantasy, romance, and supernatural. It's pretty heavy on the comedy on this one. Not a whole lot of supernatural fights. I mean, it's got a good amount of it, but I feel like this is a little bit more of a comedy series. But definitely take a look into it. Definitely watch it. Get your dick wet. Watch this before the new season airs. I got high hopes for the new season, so we will see what happen with that. And then we are actually on to the manga recommendation. I'm kind of just doing this on the fly, which I think is a little more genuine, I guess. But at the same time, like it's kind of annoying because I don't have anything pulled up, so I gotta like sit here and I gotta like search through shit. Um, the manga site I usually use is not fucking loading, which is pissing me off. So let me see if I can find another one. Let's see here. Apparently my internet still isn't fixed, which is fucking pissing me off. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do, especially if I can't do my fucking job. Let's see, what else do we have? Trying to think back on my last recommendation. Ba-bum, ba-bum. Let's see, manga. I'm gonna have to come up with one quick, because I don't want to keep you guys fucking sitting here without me actually giving a fucking recommendation. Da -da, da -da -da. Let's see. Again, I also haven't been reading a whole lot of it. Just kind of catching up on series here and there, like kind of just like small updates. Um, I haven't really been sitting here blasting through it like I have been in the past. So I gotta try and find something decent to recommend to you guys. Because again, I do like to try and give recommendations because some people don't really get into it. I remember what I recommended last episode. It was Dan to Dan. Um, I think that's a very good series. Still a good recommendation. So definitely check that one out. Um, let's see if I can find something quickly here as I'm scrolling through all these things. Anything that kind of stands out to me. Damn, I'm not seeing anything. Fuck, don't tell me I don't have don't tell me I don't have a recommendation here. Oh, this is pretty depressing. I'm pretty disappointed in myself here. See if I can try and get something quick. Here, I'll do this one. This one's actually getting an anime adaptation soon, so I figured it's a decent actual recommendation. Something you can fly through is so the English title is "I was reincarnated." I was a sword when I reincarnated. That's the name of it. The Japanese title, which I'm going to butcher right now, is called Tensai Shitara Ken Deshita. I'm not going to spell it out for you. You can go find it. So it's basically, I'm going to read a little bit of the synopsis here just so you guys can kind of get into it. So when he realized that the protagonist was in another world and had become a sword, you heard that right, he had become a sword that was stabbed in an altar in a great plain crowded with devil beasts. So it's like demon beasts, I guess. I don't know. I think the translation on this is kind of poor, but whatever. The world he was in had a game-like system: health points, magic points, strength, vitality, agility, intelligence, dexterity, titles, and equipment. Following his instincts as a living sword, he traveled to find the one who could be his wielder until he met with a cat girl. Yeah, you heard that right, cat girl. That was about to be attacked by a bear type devil beast. This has got about 57 chapters translated. Again, this is getting an anime adaptation. This is pretty good. I enjoyed reading it. I'm not caught up on it, but it is a pretty good time. Um, Genre tags here are action, fantasy, manga, which I don't know why it's the tag, it's obvious. Shonen and supernatural. Pretty good series. Again, this is getting an anime adaptation. I will look into that more later, but should be good. Pretty interesting. Pretty good artwork as well. So you guys get a chance, definitely check it out. Again, it's called "I Was a Sword When I Reincarnated." Uh, Pretty good fun, a little bit of comedy here, um, mostly action, but definitely worth checking out and definitely worth reading a little bit of it before the anime adaptation comes out. So I think with that, I am going to wrap the podcast up here, coming in close to 50 something minutes. So um, thanks again for listening, guys. This is actually episode 6 of the Back to My Bone podcast. This is your host Don Burgundy, aka Chris. Happy 4th of July, everyone! Go have some fucking fun. Eat some burgers, eat some dogs. You know, get your fucking dick wet in the pool. All right. All right. Have a good one, guys. Peace.